Hi Ishika, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So Ishika, you know the purpose of this meeting and objective of this meeting. So both you
Yeah.
and me, we will try to provide the information to the future student about the interview process of IIT Mandi, right? Because
Yes.
there is no much information about IIT Mandi interview process. Okay. So before the discussion, Ishika, just give me a brief introduction about yourself so that my viewers, my future students will get some sense about you. Who are you? Where are you from? Okay, so please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Yes, sir. So, my name is Ishika Rahil, and I'm from Ranchi, Jharkhand. I have done my schooling from here itself, and thereafter I did my graduation also from Ranchi. I did my bachelor's in English literature from St. Xavier's College, Ranchi, and after that I applied for masters in different IITs.
Okay, fine. So now, for which program you appeared for the interview at IIT Mandi?
I appeared for development studies, MA in development studies.
Okay, fine. So, Isika, now just tell me what was the overall process of IIT Mandi for the development process
Yes, so
for development studies.
Yes, so firstly, we have to fill up the form of
Right,
the Masters in Development Studies when they release the notification. And after that, the shortlisting is done. So
right,
they will send the mail, and even the list of the candidates are they publish in their website.
right.
So that is also there. So they shortlist the candidates, and then they tell us about the written test. And so there are two stages that the shortlisted candidates have to go through, and
Hmm,
that is the written test and then the interview. The written test will hold 60% of the weightage, and the interview will hold the 40% of the weightage.
right,
So at first, we have to give the written test, and so they mailed us that how the written test will be conducted a day or
hmm,
2 days before the written test,
hmm.
and they conducted it in the Google Meet. So
Okay,
so there
so,
were 20 to 20 students in one meet, and the written test was conducted. There were
right,
objective questions as well as subjective questions. So we got 20 minutes for objective questions that were to be solved in the there was a Google Doc
okay,
created, a Google form created,
Google form.
and
Right,
yes, so we have to give the objective test in that Google form only. And for subjective test also, the Google form was created, but the questions were given over there. We have to write the answers in the paper itself, and we have to
okay,
just scan it and submit it in that form. So the scanning and submitting time is given separately.
yes,
So 20 minutes were given for that, and I think around 45 minutes were given for the subjective part.
right,
So
45 minutes.
at first it was mentioned that 30 minutes will only be given, but they announced at that point of time that 45 minutes will be allotted for that,
Right,
for the subjective part. And there
right,
were five questions, out of which three questions we had to opt. So three questions were to be written in 45 minutes. And after that, 15 minutes were given to scan and upload it in the Google form.
right.
So that was the written test process of the written test. And
Isika,
after that,
Isika,
yes,
just I want to know about the topics they covered for the objective test. Can you
yes,
remember the topics? Yeah, if you can remember or tell something about the question, that is totally fine.
yeah.
Otherwise, you can say the topics at what topics they covered, like for the objectives and then you can tell something about the subjective questions.
Yeah, so there were 20 questions to be opted in 20 minutes, the objective questions. So the topics were mainly from the current affairs and um, The interesting part was that the first few questions were kind of a reading comprehension,
Right.
but it was really small passages. But it
Okay.
was also related to the development issues. So
Issues.
thinkers and theories about development, the
Right.
passages were extracted from there, and it was given, and we have to
Got it.
comprehend it. And after
Okay.
that, there was also one question about the correct English statement. What is they
Okay.
wanted to check the grammar also, that
Okay.
whether the grammar is correct or not.
I
They
think
wanted to check that about this.
Isika, I think you had enjoyed that question, right? You are from English
Yeah.
literature background. Okay, fine. Go on.
So that was the question. And after that, all of the questions were related to current affairs, majorly. So the major chunk was the current affairs one. And it was
Yes,
related to polity.
Isika,
Yes,
my point is like current affairs. I'm getting the sense, but what type of current affairs question they asked?
yes. So there were questions on economy, on
Mhm.
polity as well, about the
Mhm.
constitution.
Mhm.
So that was there. And what I can recall now
Yes.
is, uh, yes, I like the factual informations.
Okay, fine.
That was
Factual is
also
fine.
there.
Fine. Fine. Got it. Move on.
Yes. So general knowledge kind of.
Yes.
So that was there. That was about the objective part. And the subjective part was, I remember the questions that I opted.
Mhm.
So the three questions were, one was about the social media and how it was changing the voting behavior.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
second one was about how our country can become the trillion dollars economy, $5 trillion economy.
Hmm.
And the third question was, I'm not able to recall exactly, but
It's okay.
uh,
It's fine.
it was, yes, yes, yes. It was about like the non constitutional bodies which were
Okay.
being affected by the government,
Okay.
how government are influencing it and how not. That was the question. So
Got
these
it.
three questions were which I opted. So this was
So,
about the
Isika,
written test.
it means that they gave you five subjective questions, and you
Yes.
had to opt three question out of that, out of five, right?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Yeah.
And
So
yes,
that
now
was
the
about the subjective part.
yes, go on, go on.
And so this was about the written test. And
Written test.
after that, the interview was conducted. So the candidates who passed the written test, they were called for the interview.
Right.
And the interview was conducted on 19th of May. My interview was scheduled at that time.
Right.
So, and I got the panel A for the interview.
Interesting.
So, so the interview part was like we were given a list of the students, 25 people were there,
Mhm.
and we had to calculate our time according to that. The serial wise, the names were given. So we had to calculate our time according to that, and we have to be ready by that time. But a day before, they mailed us that due to some issues, they want us to be ready at 9 a.m. only.
Okay.
So I thought it was like a first come first serve basis. It was on that basis, but it was not like that.
Okay.
They were doing it serial wise, and my interview was then conducted like around 12:20 p.m.
12:20. 12:20. Yes.
Yes. So then when I was admitted into the meeting room, they asked me about myself. They clearly they firstly asked about that, Ishika, can you say something about yourself? So I said yes, sir, and then I started introducing myself. And after that, they jumped into the question of the development issues that are prevailing in the society right now. So I answered that, and I talked about my interest area also in that only. So when I said that, then they asked about the, because I said about the education sector more. So they asked about the new education policy, and then I answered that question as well. And after that, they asked me about the why not MA in English literature? Why you want to pursue this course? So
Interesting
I
question.
so I prepared that beforehand because I saw that coming. So that was the question, and uh, yes, so I answered that uh,
Yes,
because I
good
want
meeting.
to. Yes, yes. So that was the question they asked, and after that they asked about the. Um, they wanted to check that whether I will be able to adjust myself in the development studies or not, because I was coming from a different background.
Right.
So they clearly asked me that will you be able to adjust yourself in this course, because literature is very different from this. So they clearly asked that to me. So I expressed what my endeavor is, what I want to do. So
Yes.
then they, I don't know whether they were convinced or not. I don't know that. I don't remember actually. So
It's fine.
uh, then they then they asked me about the um, a book. They named the book, and the sir asked me that, do you know this book? So I was not aware of that book. So I told him that no sir, I don't know about this book. So he said okay, fine. And then he asked about some theories like Orientalism. What do you mean by Orientalism and post-colonialism? So I
Acha.
told them what Orientalism was, and I explained them. So I think they were convinced at that answer. And then the last question that they asked was, it was not the last, it was like the second last question. So the second last question that they asked was that, do you think Turkey is an Oriental country or Occidental country? So
Right.
I said him that I think it's an Oriental country in the geographical map of the world. So physical map of the world. So then they said okay, and then at last they asked me about the then at last they said that do you have any question for us? So that was very new for me. I did not know how to ask
I
them anything.
completely.
I did not prepare that. So I did not ask anything to them. So I said that I cannot think of any question right now. Then they said,
It's
okay,
fine.
Shika, your
Totally
interview is
fine.
over. Your interview is over. And then they told me to leave the meeting. So that was all about the interview experience.
Yes. Got it. So yes, your interpretation, what you have mentioned, I think the future student for IIT Mandi will go for IIT Mandi, will appear for the interview and written test for the IIT Mandi. They will get a good insight, good idea from this interaction between you and me. And now I want to know one thing. What was your overall experience regarding the interview?
Yeah, so I think that it was nice. It was good. I have not thought about it a lot, that how whether they were convinced or not, and whether they liked my answers or not. I did not thought about it, but I know that I was confident, and
Yes.
I said whatever was in my mind, whatever I wanted to explain. I explained them all of that. I was not nervous at all. So I tried to give my best, and that's all. I have no idea what they think, but yes, that's what I have done, and I'm satisfied with my uh, what I have done.
Yes, yes, what you have done, and on the basis of your answering, you are satisfied. Okay, so that is the most important thing, and even I will tell my future viewers and the YouTube viewers who will watch this video. So when you will switch from one domain to a new domain. So already Isika has mentioned that particular thing. So you have to answer that question with confidence. You have to answer that question. Okay,
Yeah.
that is the most like, I think that will be the most important and crucial question for you, for the future student who will switch the program for one domain to new domain. Okay, so I think Isika has done that very well. Okay, am I right?
I tried. Yes,
You
I
tried.
tried.
Okay, okay. Anyway, that is totally fine. Isika, thank you for this
Welcome.
interaction and for this interview, because you know that there is no much information about IIT Mandi interview
Yeah.
experience. Okay, so thanks a lot, Isika, for this. And you have mentioned multiple things. I think the future student, future viewers, future IIT aspirant will get the sense of how the professors of IIT they conduct the interview process. Okay, and during the interview and written test, okay, what type of question they can ask from they can ask for the test and interview. So I think they will get the proper sense, proper idea, and it was like absolutely interesting, absolutely an interesting interview. Okay, with you. Okay, so Isika, for thanks a lot for this interview, right? So thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.